Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will analyze a game between Ian Nepomniachtchi and Magnus Carlsen. They played in Zagreb in 2019. The opening was the Sicilian Defense, code B30. Ian Nepomniachtchi played white, Magnus Carlsen played black. White's first move was E4, Magnus replied with E5. Second move, knight to F3, answered by knight to C6. Third move for white, knight to C, and Magnus moves his pawn to e5. On the fourth move, Nepomniachtchi plays bishop to c4, following theory. Magnus responds with g6. Here is the key position. In this version of the Botvinnik system, the ideal plan for black is moves like bishop to g7, knight from g7 to e7, maybe h6, prepare f5, and king to h8. Black would feel comfortable in this case, but white will try to disrupt these plans. The fifth move, Nepomniachtchi plays pawn to d3. In Carlsen versus Zagreb at the Sinquefield Cup 2018, the fifth move was h4, threatening h5 next. Carlsen replied with h6. Sixth move, white played h5, then black pushed g5. On move 7, the knight goes to h2, and black develops knight to f6. Eighth move, white plays d3, black responds with d6. White's knight returns to f1. Black brings the bishop to g4. On move 10, Nepomniachtchi plays f3. Magnus answers bishop to e6. Later, white played g4, and the position was equal. Carlsen tried to complicate matters, but without success. In this game, Carlsen pushed h7. On move 9, white played knight to c3, and black answered with knight to d5. Nepomniachtchi played h4 as the sixth move. Carlsen replied with d6. Then h5 by white, g5 by black. Eighth move, knight to h2, bishop to g7. After f5 by black, white can take with bishop, which only benefits white. Black should approach differently. Ninth move, knight to g4. Magnus responds with knight from g to e7. Nepomniachtchi moves knight to e3. Magnus castles. After black's 10th move, bishop to e6 is generally not the best. White can continue with knight from c to d5, dominating. It can't be exchanged due to a fork. Nepomniachtchi played knight to d2 as move 11. Magnus responded with king to h8, a quiet move. Now black is ready to play f5, but Nepomniachtchi pushes g4, preventing this. Despite the closed nature of the position, Nepomniachtchi still plays for a win. It turns out white has spent too much time. Magnus plays rook to b9. Nepomniachtchi pushes a4, preventing black from making progress on the queen side. The destination of the white king remains unclear. Magnus's 13th move, knight to d4. The knight gets into white's position, there are weaknesses, and black's knight is on a journey to g4. 14th move for white, knight from c to d5. Magnus captures on d5. White recaptures. Magnus moves his knight to e6. Nepomniachtchi advances f3. Magnus's knight goes to f4. White moves the queen to b1. Why did white make this move? The closed position allows a maneuver. The queen goes to a2 to control d5, so that white can recapture there if black exchanges both minor pieces. Magnus places the bishop on e6. Nepomniachtchi moves the queen to a2. White has achieved what they wanted, an ambitious plan, but their king is exposed. Any opening of the center favors black. Carlsen's 18th move, queen to d7. Nepomniachtchi replies with rook to g1. The white king's fate is unclear, so it's better to avoid combinations involving bishop takes g4. 19th move, pawn to b6. 20th, bishop to c3. Black plays bishop to d5, exchanging an important defender. This bishop is less important than the knight on f4. If white captures on f4, the bishop on g7 becomes active. 21st move, white's bishop captures on d5. Black's 21st, pawn to a6, preparing b5. 22nd move, white's bishop to d2, black's queen to e7, then white's rook to f1. Black pushes b5. There are exchanges, a takes b, a takes b. White's 25th move, king to f2. The white king is safe. Black has only one active piece and no open files. Magnus Carlsen increases pressure by responding to move 25 with c4. Black threatens not just d3, but also knight takes d5. On move 27, white's bishop takes f4. Black can open the position further by playing f5. Nepomniachtchi responds with rook to d1. Carlsen notes that Nepomniachtchi has spent too much time and became nervous as the position opened up. Magnus gets the decisive moment. He pushes the f5 pawn. This move shocked his opponent in time trouble. If Carlsen had thought longer, perhaps he would not have played f5 and the game might have ended in a draw. Nepomniachtchi's 28th move, pawn takes on f5, is a mistake. On Carlsen's 28th move, pawn to g4, Black's queen invades the kingside and secures the victory. Move 29. Magnus gives a check with the queen from h4. Nepomniachtchi's king goes to e2, then another check from h2. White blocks with rook to f2, but Magnus captures the pawn on f3 with check. White resigns. Main takeaways. A weakness is only a weakness if it can be exploited. Unexpected moves in time trouble offer practical chances. Do not fall into time trouble. Long combinations are hard to calculate. This game ended with a victory for Magnus Carlsen. The author promises more analysis next time and thanks you for watching.